Sup guys, it's Alex here, and welcome to a new Bracketology update for February 26th, as you can see right there. And before I get started, I just want to say thank you guys for all of the support that you have been showing me. I'm looking on Social Blade and all that. Since my last video I made on Friday, I've gained almost 150 different subscribers. I'm up to 2,318 at this point, and the views have absolutely been crazy. Most of them have been on that Zion committing to Duke video. For some reason, it's appearing in people's recommended section, which I'm not complaining because it's helping me out a lot. I'm at almost 1.2 million views now after I just posted on Thursday on my Instagram. If you guys aren't already following that, that helps you get to the NCAA tournament ticket giveaway. So make sure you're following me on Instagram at AlexPrice24. But I posted about me getting 1 million views on Thursday, and now I'm already at 1.2 million, which is absolutely crazy to think about. So thank you guys for all the love there. And just let me know for this Bracketology update video, I'm doing a new thing to where I'm just holding up the camera with something else instead of me holding it with my hands. So it should be a little bit better quality, not moving around and stuff like that. But if you'd rather have that more personal feel with me holding the camera and stuff like that, just let me know. Just give me some feedback in the comment section, and then I'll take that and do whatever with my next videos. But yeah, thanks for all the love with my channel. And without further ado, I forgot to mention, if you didn't watch my Friday video, if I get to 2,500 subscribers by March 15th, when I'll be doing that drawing for the NCAA tournament ticket giveaway, I will be giving a second ticket away. So I said that on Friday when I had like 1.1 or 2.1 thousand subscribers, but now I've gained over 200 since then. So now I'm feeling like we'll probably hit it even before then, maybe by the end of March. I don't know. We'll see what happens with that, but the growth has been absolutely crazy. But yeah, enough about me. Let's go ahead and get into the Bracketology. So after a crazy weekend when Zion had gotten injured during the week and stuff like that, with Kentucky now moving up to a 1 seed, Villanova losing for like the third straight time, Texas Tech blowing out Kansas, Louisville having a 10-point lead over Virginia, which I vlogged at that game, and then blowing it. Virginia won by double digits in that one. Joe Lunardi has released his newest Bracketology, as you can see right there. And if you haven't been subscribed to me, I will be going to the South Regional in Louisville for the Sweet 16 and Elite 8. So excited for that. Hopefully, I'm a big Kentucky fan, so hopefully Kentucky will make it to Louisville at some point if they can keep winning, and then Duke or Virginia falters down the stretch. That would be great to see, but either way, I'd love to see Virginia, Maryland, potentially Maryland or Iowa State or Purdue or Louisville or Tennessee and stuff like that. But yeah, so yeah, go ahead and go over a couple of changes that you can see right there. Florida is now up to a 9. They've been having a really good week. They almost blew it against Missouri at home, but that road win over LSU was huge for them. Nevada, it remains a 5 after losing during the week. Temple and Clemson are now in the play-in game, as you can see right there, as the 12 spot. Buffalo is now up to a 6. NC State is now down to 11. They were like a 5 or a 6 at some point earlier this season. Now they're almost on the bubble. And we have Vermont down to a 14. Kentucky, as you can see, is now up to a 1 seed. They've been killing it recently. Hopefully they can keep the momentum going and 3 Travis out. And then Wofford is now up to an 8 seed, which I really like Wofford. They only have 4 losses on the season, but they're to really good teams like Kansas, North Carolina, Oklahoma, and I don't remember who the other one was, but it was somebody really good. Nothing to be ashamed of there. Then we have, sorry guys, I'm a little bit sick, but we have Virginia Tech now up to a 5. Lipscomb is now new to the field as a 12. Kansas is now down to a 4. As I mentioned earlier, they got absolutely blown out. And Alabama is now up to an 11, and VCU is now up to a 10. Then over here, we have Virginia still remaining at 1. Auburn, after getting blown out by Kentucky, remains at 8. Iowa State is now down to a 5 after losing to TCU over the weekend. Utah State is now in the projected field. I know they've been out for a little bit, but people have been clamoring for them to get in. They're now in the playing game with Seton Hall. Maryland is now up to a 4. Murray State is now down to a 13. Louisville is now down to a 6 after being as high as a projected 3 at one point. Villanova is now down to a 7. Man, they've just, I don't know what's been happening to them over these last couple weeks. Then we have Ohio State down to a 10, and Tennessee is now down to a 2 after losing to LSU with a stupid foul by Grant Williams with like 0.6 seconds left or whatever. Then we have Ole Miss down to a 9. Old Dominion's making their way up to a 13. Texas Tech is now up to a 3 after taking Kansas' spot on that 3 line. And Wright State's new to the field over Northern Kentucky for their conference. Then on the bubble, as you can see right here, NC State has now played their way onto the bubble, which is sad. And UCF, Alabama, Arizona State are the last 4 byes. Last 4 in are Seton Hall, Temple, Clemson, and Utah State with those play-in games. Then we had the first 4 out are Minnesota, who blew their chance in the field. They lost to Rutgers over the weekend, then St. Mary's, Butler, and Belmont. And then the next 4 out are San Francisco, Dayton, who's playing their way into the field pretty well, South Carolina, who's been killing it in the SEC, and then Georgetown, who's been picking up some nice wins recently. They just got one over Villanova. So, as you guys know, if you've been following my channel, you know that I go on Bracketify.com and create Joe Lunardi's most recent bracket for you guys to go ahead and vote and be interactive with, and I'll be giving my predictions and stuff based off of that. And the link for this video, or the link for this bracket, will be in the description. I know you can't really see the URL or whatever right now, but the link for it will be in the description, so make sure you check that out and vote. Each one's getting about like 20,000 votes, which is crazy. But when that tournament time comes around, when this video gets like 50,000 views or whatever, that'll be insane. Hopefully we get like 100,000 votes or whatever, but we'll see what happens there. So without any further ado, I know it's taken a while for me to get into these picks. It's about like 6 minutes now in the video, but Duke will beat Sam Houston State. That one's pretty obvious. I think Baylor will beat Florida. Nevada will beat the winner of Temple and Clemson, which I think would be Clemson. LSU will beat Hofstra. Then I'm going to go with, I was going to go with NC State there, but Buffalo, I think, is a better team at this point. They're more consistent. I like them. And then Marquette will beat Vermont. And Cincinnati will beat TCU. And then Michigan will beat Loyola Chicago. I'm going with the chalk on that side of the bracket so far. Kentucky will beat Bucknell. Wofford will beat St. John's. I think that Lipscomb is going to pull off the upset here against Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech seems like they want to get over that hump, but they just can't. I know Lipscomb just lost to Florida Gulf Coast, but they are a really good at-large team. I think that, or they won't be an at-large team. They're going to win their conference, but I think that they're going to do really good. And I think they could pull off the upset here on a classic 12/5. Kansas will beat Yale. Then we have Kansas State beating Alabama. Houston, I think, will beat Mike Down and South Dakota State, which congratulations to Mike Down for getting 3,000 career points, which is absolutely crazy. I think Washington will beat VCU, and then Michigan State will beat Montana. Virginia will beat the winner of Iona and Norfolk State. Don't really care who wins that one. And I think that Auburn will beat Texas. Iowa State will beat the winner of Utah State and Seton Hall, which I think would be Seton Hall. Then Maryland will beat John Morant and Murray State. Then we have Louisville beating Taco Fall and UCF, even though UCF might be playing their way out of the tournament. We'll see what happens there. Then Purdue will beat Texas State. Then I'm going to go with an upset pick here. I'm going to go with Ohio State. I know, actually, Villanova is probably the better team here, and I'm kind of going out on a limb because Ohio State hasn't been showing anything recently. But Villanova, they're susceptible to like first or second round upsets in the tournament recently. They usually go either really far or get out super early. I think this year they'll be going out super early. I'm going to go with Ohio State there. And Tennessee will beat Radford. Gonzaga will beat the winner of that playing game, and Syracuse with Tyus Battle will beat Ole Miss. Florida State, I think, will beat New Mexico State. Then we have Wisconsin beating Old Dominion. Then Mississippi State will lose to Arizona State. I think Arizona State pulls off the upset there. Texas Tech will beat UC Irvine. Iowa will beat Oklahoma. And then North Carolina will beat Wright State. And first spot in the Sweet 16, we got Duke moving past Baylor. I think that LSU at Nas Reed and Tremont Waters and all them, they're going to beat Nevada with Caroline and the Martin Twins and stuff like that. Nevada just hasn't been playing. I don't think they've even played a quadrant one game all season. They've already lost 2 games, so we're going to go with LSU there. Then Marcus Howard and Marquette will beat Buffalo. Michigan will beat Cincinnati. Then we got Kentucky beating Wofford. Kansas beating Lipscomb, as much as I want to pick the upset there. Then I think that Houston, even though they have 1 loss this season, I think that they'll lose to Kansas State right here. Now, hear me out. I know I just picked Houston moving on to like the Elite 8 or something like that a couple videos ago, or maybe even the Final 4. I don't remember. But I like Kansas State. They've been showing me a lot this season. I know they just lost last night to Kansas. But I think that if Dean Wade's going to be back in time, I think that him and Bruce Brown, I think Bruce Brown or Barry Brown, one of them played for Miami. I don't remember who it is. I think that they'll be able to pull off the 6/3 upset here. And then Michigan State will beat Washington. Then we have Virginia beating Auburn. Iowa State will lose to Maryland. I know I've been pretty high on Iowa State this season, but I mean they just won by like 15 over Oklahoma last night. But I just don't know. Every time I feel like I'm pulling for Iowa State, they go out and lose. I'm going to go with Bruno Fernando and Maryland right there. Then I think that Purdue and Carson Edwards, I think that they beat Louisville. And then Tennessee will beat Ohio State. Gonzaga will beat Syracuse, so I like Syracuse if they can get up to like a 7 or 6 seed. I like them upsetting a 2 or a 3 at some point. Then I like Florida State here over Wisconsin with Ethan Happ. Texas Tech will beat Arizona State, when North Carolina will beat Iowa. And then first spot in the Elite 8, I think Duke will beat LSU. Then Marquette will beat Michigan. Kentucky will beat Kansas in a rematch of earlier this season. Kentucky won on their home court, and I think they're a much better team than Kansas at this point. And Kansas State will lose To Michigan State, I think Michigan State's the better team in that one. Virginia, I think, will beat Maryland. And then I'm going to go with a slight upset pick here. I'm going to go with Purdue and Carson Edwards and Matt Harms, I think is his name. I think they're a much better team. They're not a much better team than Tennessee, but Tennessee, if you can stifle Grant Williams or Admiral Schofield, I think you'll win. And Tennessee just hasn't really been shown it against the good teams this season. I'm going to go with Purdue there. And Gonzaga will beat Florida State. Then I think that Texas Tech will lose to North Carolina. I know I've been selling North Carolina short to a lot of people recently, and they've been absolutely killing it. I'm going to go with North Carolina there. And then for a spot in the Final Four, Duke and Marquette. As much as I want to go with the upset pick here with Marcus Howard and Marquette, Duke's just more of a complete team at this point. I like them moving on. And Kentucky, I think, is a much better team than Michigan State at this point, especially Michigan State suffering 2 injuries. I don't know if Nick Ward's going to be back in time for the tournament. Plus, Kentucky's turning it on when it matters. I'm going to go with Kentucky there. And Virginia and Purdue, I'm going to go with Virginia. I think this one will be a very low-scoring game. Purdue hasn't been scoring a lot in their most recent games, and, Virginia, they can get to like 65 points, they'll probably win. And Gonzaga and North Carolina, I think Gonzaga's a really good team, but North Carolina, I think, already beat them this season. North Carolina's been turning it on recently. I like North Carolina winning that matchup. And then first spot in the national championship game, Duke and Kentucky. I'm going to go out on a limb here. I'm going to pick Kentucky. I don't know if Zion's going to be back in time for that, which he probably will because he's day-to-day right now. But Kentucky's been turning it on recently. I think that they catch Duke on an off night here if they can stifle Zion and R.J. Barrett. And I think if they're at full strength, I think Kentucky is the better team, better shooting team at this point. I'm going to go with Kentucky moving on. And they have Virginia and North Carolina. Battle of the ACC schools, which I forgot to mention. I put 3 ACC schools in the Final Four, which is crazy to think about. And I'm going to go with another 2 seed here. I'm going to go with North Carolina moving on. Now, hear me out. I do think these 2 teams I played in Virginia beat North Carolina at North Carolina, so there's Virginia fans out there probably not going to be too happy with me. But North Carolina is one of the hottest teams in the nation. I think that they're going to be able to beat Virginia here. I think that they're going to be able to turn this into an offensive battle, and I'm not sure Virginia's going to be able to keep up. I like North Carolina there. In the national championship game, Kentucky and North Carolina battle the Blue Buds. And they played earlier this season, which Kentucky won. I think it was like in Chicago or something like that. And as much as I want to pick Kentucky here, I got to go with North Carolina. I mean, I could really pick Kentucky here. I really thought about it, really want to, but I think North Carolina is one of the hottest teams in the nation right now. They haven't lost in a minute. I like them winning the national championship at this point, which I know all the Kentucky and Duke fans are going to get mad at me, especially the Kentucky fans since I'm going against my team. But I think that North Carolina is going to win that. This is the first time I picked them all season, so if this is the first video that you're watching and it's you're a North Carolina fan, good for you. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. But thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to check out the how to enter the NCAA tournament ticket giveaway. I'll be putting that in the description again. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you all later.